Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today I've got quite the little project going on my desk, but I think it's going to be fun. So I saw this idea from Gala Gussinelli, but she saw it on the Celtic Crafter. So I'll try to remember to link below the video. And what it was she had taken some of the Edith Holden book, cut off pieces, and made them into kind of like postcards. Now she had, I have these Tim Holtz tissue papers. I have this one, and this bird one. She used the one that has like a palette on it, and I almost used my strips that were clear for this as an idea, but I ended up just going ahead and using these for it. So it took the palette strips that were like the tissue paper, then took a stamp. I pulled out my Tim Holtz stamps for it, and I'm pretty sure that's what I saw them use. And then I pulled out my cancellation stamps. I have a couple of those. I pulled out some of the markings, some stamp pads, etc. So let me show you how I did. We're gonna do one of these, but then I'm gonna show you the idea that I have to my revision version of it is to be using something else. So let me show you that. So here is two of these, and I did the same idea where I have glued on the Tim Holtz tissue paper, little tissue paper here. I haven't put a stamp on this one yet, but it appears I have run the ink on my hand here. I wanted to put a red stamp on this one. And there we go. And put it down here. Put a stamp on there, as well as the cancellation marks and the, I think they're both called cancellation marks, actually. I'm not sure what the round ones are called, but both of them on there. So I use, this is a postcard, and this is another postcard, and these are from sets that I have. And let me show you what I have. So I've got these Pantone 100 postcards. So they are just a solid color with a number and a name on the bottom. And that's the one I did for this. This was a Pantone. I covered up the name with the bird, and then the number sticks out. And I really did an issue with, I did them too fast and to smush them. I'm going to see if I can clean those off. The there's high gloss on these cards, so it made it a little bit slicker, whereas the Edith Holden books are porous, and they're gonna not slide as much, and I should have remembered that, so I might have to restamp those or do something with them. But back to my story here. So I've got those postcards. I have this set, which has postcards in it. I got this from Barnes & Noble. It had also a book, which I still haven't cut anything out of some great, I have to play with this book. Same pictures that are in here, and these are postcards of flowers, botanical kind of deal, and that is the one that I used for the red poppy. I grabbed that from that one. So I have those that I can pick from. Also, this kit, it's called a wall collage kit. I'm pretty sure I got it on Temu, and they are not really postcards in the back, but same sort of size, and they were just a whole bunch of fun botanicals and animals, mushrooms, just a whole bunch of fun, some weird stuff in here too. I got a dinosaur, some seashells, a couple bugs, but these would be fun to also cover up with the tissue paper and put a stamp on it. And then I got one last set. I'm going to try to play with that one today also. This I got from a friend a couple years ago. Color Meditation Deck. And what it has is some very bright, fun stuff. So I thought it'd be fun definitely to put some of these darker overlays on them. It's all about color and watercolors and painting and things like that. But the cards are supposed to help you paint and do color schemes and give you ideas, but I thought these would be fun to make into journal cards too. But how fun it would be to cover one of these up with some black and white, like this one. This would be fun. I think I might do that one. Cover it up with some black and white numbers or something like that, and add a stamp to it as a postcard. for that. But yeah, so if you've got any sort of pre-made postcards that you haven't used, this I think is a great idea for it. Or use, like their original, some of the Kathy Holden books. Or, sorry, I keep saying Kathy Holden, but that's a fabric I have. The Edith Holden books I have. So if you got any of those and you got some scraps laying around that you want to do for that. And I also have this one, which I thought could be fun, this Victoria flower album. There's a lot of ones that you could cut pieces off and make sort of a same kind of deal for that. So lots of options for this. All right, so let me show you how I did the first one, and then we'll do the bright one, and you'll kind of get the idea of how we did it after that. All right, so their version was, I pulled it out already. So I've got this like clock kind of deal here, and I'm going to use, you can use Match Medium, you can use Mod Podge, you can use like a white glue. I'm just going to use my glue stick for the small piece, and I'm just going to do my best to put it where I think it's going to land since it disappears. And I'm going to put it down. Oh, and that is a big chunk of glue that got knocked off. And then where it doesn't hit, you can go back and put a little bit more glue right on the edge there. And call that one done. Now I forgot to round the edges. There it is. Now this it's pretty light. I'd probably back it with something to make a journal card, just to get it a little bit more strength. Oh, got rid of my stamp here a little bit. Should have tracked down my small scissors for this, but there we go. Just gonna age up the corners a little bit here, or the edges. Yeah, I definitely think it would have to put something on the back of this just to strengthen it up a bit. Now this one I made has a great back to it already. I probably could get away with not doing something with it. This one probably could work too. You could right. Call it a day. Okay, so once you get your tissue paper on there somewhere, we're just going to find a stamp and then mark it off. So I think, this has to be a yellow stamp, right? Now if you don't have these kind of stamps, there is the freebie stamps I have in my Ko-fi account that you could print out and use those. Or if you got real stamps, you can use those. I just happened to grab this book. And okay, which one looks, yeah, this one looks kind of yellowish green. Let's go with, actually this one. Let's go with that one. Get back in there. All right, we're gonna put it over the words because they're kind of cut off anyway. And I'm putting the stamp down first so I can go ahead and stamp the cancellation on there. And I see that there's already sort of a cancellation on there. I'm gonna find one that's about the same size. That'll work. Now this is the not so shiny. So I'm just gonna use my Fallen Leaves with VersaFine Clear. And we're gonna put that on there. Very nice. Almost hate to waste this. Look at a piece of. There we go. And we'll use the little hashtag or the cancellation swoop. And put some up there. Okay. Now I'm going to put that to the side to dry because I can tell it's shiny right on the stamp portion because this is a little glossier. But that's all you have to do. So a cut-off part of a book page that is not maybe the most greatest because parts have been cut off, and you can make like a faux postcard with the stamp and the cancellation and a little bit of tissue paper, stamped tissue paper. Now I was looking for it and I didn't do hard look for it, but I have made this before, or I have regular tissue paper like you do gift wrapping in, and then you stamp on it, and then you can use that as your own. I just realized where I put some. There they are. So I have, oh, these are big numbers. I guess that's not the one I was thinking of. But there's some where I've stamped them. You can stamp tissue paper and use that for stuff. These are all stamped. I even had a video where I pre-colored some of them, but you can use all that kind of stuff. This was actually a digital that I printed. I've shown this before, where I printed on the back of slick paper, like release paper from sticker sheets, and then pushed it down on tissue paper, and it does like an imprint. And I could definitely use some of these. I'm like, see if I can keep some of these out. You know, you got too much stuff sometimes. Okay, so that's how you do it on the like Edith Holden stuff. But let's do one on, like I said, a fancy one that's a little bit brighter. That might not look quite the same. All right, so like I said, I was thinking about doing the numbers, because the numbers would be fun over this, I would think. But then I found my numbers with the butterfly. Like nice juxtaposition with the butterfly and the floral. It does have numbers on it too. All right. So you can rip tissue paper. It rips pretty easily, but you can also get a water. There's water pens, water markers, even just a Q-tip, and put it where you want it, and then it rips really, really easily. I think it'll be fun there. Still have the splatter of the colors there. I like it. Now this one's definitely a bit bigger, so this one's gonna take a bit of glue. Okay. If there's little wrinkles in there, that is fine. Just adds a little texture to it. And got little pieces that don't stick. Just go ahead and add some glue to that and glue it down. I don't want to rub too hard because I don't want to rip the tissue paper, because the glue is still behind there, as you can see, and wet. My finger had some ink on it, so of course it transferred that. Well, we're going to get our handy dandy glue eraser and help that out. Probably put the stamp there. Most of it came off. These, I got this one at the Dollar Tree, believe it or not, and it works wonders. Okay, yeah, I'll put the stamp up there. The part that's overflowing, I'll just trim back in a bit. There's a bit hanging. This method was to use a straw with watercolor, and like I said, you just want to add some paper to it. It'd be fun with something like this to not go to the whole end and cover it up, so it can be journaled on. I've got that. Also got some green here. Yeah, I'll figure out something to put on it at some point. All right, so we have that and a fun stamp. So we need a bright one, right? This bright pink would be fun. Purple, bright green. I think that one right there, it struck me as bright right off the bat. I'm going to put that right there. And I think I'm going to try the, I don't think I want to do the oxide. I think I'm going to track down my archival. All right, I got archival smoke and black. Now, I think I might try the smoke. I like doing the watermarks with that because it looks like it's kind of worn and a little older. So let's try that. All right, let's go with, I'm going to go with New York. Oh, okay, didn't look like it was stamping. I think it been dried out a little bit. That's the only problem with these little stamps. They get a little bit, they dry out faster than the bigger ones. All right, let's see if we can do this. Oh, that worked out pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, and okay. Now I'm going to try not to touch this one because I can tell that it is still wet because glossy. But you know what would be pretty? Is to put a butterfly over that color-wise. It might be a little bit bigger than I want. But I like the colors. Brighter colors, for sure. Ooh, look at you. Oh, you're fun. All right, we're gonna get you, wrangle you butterflies back in your little cage here. All right, I'm gonna cut this out and I will be right back. All right, there we go. And I think he's gonna look really good right there. So we're gonna put him in his spot. Yeah, I just think that was too big of an expansive uncolored. Like if I put it smaller, I probably wouldn't have done that. I think it was just too much, the black and white. Not really helping. Whoops. Probably could use a file for this. I don't want to cut the card necessarily. But yeah, there you go. You could fold it under. He did get folded under. There we go. Yeah, I like it. Fun, bright colors, muted down a little bit. You still see them behind the whiteness. Fun stamp. Couple cancellations, and there you go. A fun journal card. Can make them, like I said, with, get this background distracting out of the way. Close that up. Can make them with any like setting on a paper. We got the good old Kathy Holden. Oh, I did it again. Tim Holtz papers. We got the fun postcards. There was another one I wanted to do. We got the postcards. Yeah. I think when doing them, the ones that probably going to work out the best is when you've got an expansive part where you'll be able to put something in the background. And that's why I picked this one, because you could put some sort of tissue paper there. Like that, and still be able to put stamps. Yeah, let's do that real quick. Still put the tissue paper down and have an area that could go on and put a stamp somewhere, but still show a good part of that focal point. I'll go back later and trim that down. Yeah, cute. And I forgot to. I'm gonna just around the two top ones. I don't know. I might not round the bottom ones, or I'll wait until it gets more glued on there. All right, but I think the fun stamp could go down there. And I've done orange stamp and a pink stamp and a red stamp and a green stamp. I think we deserve a yellow stamp. Orange and yellow. There's only one yellow, so. And I guess I did that yellow-green one. That was that one. That ended up being more green than yellow. There's not a yellow-pink one. Is there a pink? Yeah, there's no light pinks. I was kind of hoping there'd be a light pink. Okay. How about a green? There's green leaves, right? I like this one, Brazil. Yeah, let's do that one. All right, we'll put that there and do a little cancellation right there. Do a little cancellation up there, just to add some fun to it. And all right, so that is a stamp for Brazil. I probably don't have a Brazil stamp. Washington, London, New York, France, Paris. Oh, I have a Brazil stamp. Okay. Brazil, and I'm going to put a little version up here. It's going to be a little lighter. Whoa. I love it. Not going to try not to touch it because you know, I've said it before. Slick surface. But how quick was that? Like I said, we'll round the bottoms a little bit. I'll ink around the edge just to give it a little bit of age to it after this all dries, because I've already spread too much around. And like I said, I probably could have put a little age on the top of that. Cute. I like it. All right, so like I said, use some Edith Holden pages, use some new postcards, use some book pages that have flowers on them, something that you just got in a regular botanical book. Get some stamps, get some tissue paper, and there you go. All right, once again, we'll move that so we can show the loveliness of what we have. I love them. Boy, made quite a few kind of quickly, didn't we? Yeah, I love them. Okay, well, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Again, just go check out, I'll link below, Kelsey Craffer, who did this first, Gail Gosnelli for suggesting it. And again, I've said it before, you take an idea from somebody else, like using the Edith Holden books, but then you make your own twist using postcards from wherever you got them. Don't have to use the same palette tissue paper that they used, but tissue paper that I got from Tim Holtz or ones that you made yourself. Lots of options. That's what makes this so much fun, and you can make it your own. So go ahead and make it your own. Let me know if you decide to do this and how you might make it your own. I'd love to hear. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for stopping by as usual, and I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.